Hey y'all, my name is Lita Monet and I'm here with.
My name is Maddie.
We are here about to do her mental health check-in video. So to start off, I like to make my guests feel comfortable with an icebreaker of asking what would you rate your mental health from a 1 being the worst, 10 being the best.
That's your icebreaker?
Definitely my icebreaker.
Okay. I would say that at this current moment, my mental health is, I would say I would give it like a 7.5, 8.
Okay.
Just because I'm in a transition point with my career, because I work in nightlife and I really don't like working in nightlife anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's very draining and there's so many lost souls in the nightlife overall. So yeah, I would say I'll give it an 8. 7.5 seemed a little low, but other than that,
it's a really good number though.
Yeah. Other than that, I think it's pretty good.
Okay. Because you also do like the Wildin' Out, you do the boxing matches.
Yes, I'm a ring girl for
Motor City. Like doing that more than like nightlife?
Oh, for sure.
So you see yourself doing more realm?
Yeah, I would say I like the modeling aspect of the stuff that I do way more than nightlife, because nightlife is just so shallow. Like, I want to live a deep life. I don't want to live a shallow life. And so many people, I don't want to say just in Detroit, but in Detroit are very like, they live for other people. They don't live for themselves. And like being in nightlife, and like I started off promoting and doing events like that, it's like now that I've gotten older and I'm starting to grow as an individual, you can just see it way more that a lot of people aren't growing and are comfortable in being stagnant. So it makes me sad, honestly. If it makes me sad, like you're so not old, but you're grown, and you're not. If that makes sense. Yeah. So, yeah.
So at what point did you realize like it's like something that had to happen that clicked and was just like this is not it no more? Was it something interpersonal with you, or was it something that happened?
I think it was more so interpersonal.
Okay.
I think it was just like I started to feel how I pay attention to how I felt after I would leave work. I would say really I had a sign when I first started working in nightlife. My first night that was really like a I don't know if this is for you moment, but I still fought against what my legend is. Yeah. So my first night working as a bottle girl, I had a super, super rude customer. Like, he gave me this money. It was his first day out. Like, he had just got out, and I guess he was known. People knew who he was. He was very rude to me. And, like, I'm counting the money. He ordered 4 bottles. I count the money. I'm like, your money's short. He's like, I count money every day. So, like, you just don't know how to count. Then the whole time, he really just didn't have the money for it, because he's like, actually, just give me 2 bottles. He made my night flow so, like, I was so stressed about it. But right after, he got killed right outside the club, right in front of my car. And I used to have really bad PTSD. Before I went to college, I watched one of my friends get killed. And so I used to have really bad PTSD. So when that happened, it kind of messed with me really bad, because I had to sit out there until 6 a.m. until everything was cleared, because my car was a part of the scene. So it was just like, I cried. I got home and I just cried in the shower, and I was just like, I don't know if this is for me. And I still did it. And now I just feel so low vibrational after I leave work. Or like when I'm out with people that aren't my people, drinking and hanging out, it just makes me feel like, I'm intentional. I'm trying to be intentional with my life. What are you getting out of this? What is this feeding you? You know, it's just, I think it was just an inner thing. Sorry, I have ADHD. I go off topic.
That's good. That's like a conversation keep going. It's like some people they'll answer it and they'll be like, yep.
Yeah. So what's next?
But so like with all of that happening, you just brought up like you watched your friend pass before going to college. How did that change your course of maneuvering around with people?
I would say it wasn't a more so outer thing, that it was me. Because like for a long time, I would move. Like, I had a lot of things in my life that people don't know my story, and not everyone's meant to know your story, but everyone has a story. So it's like I've been through a lot in my life that no one would ever think that I went through, because of the way that I carry myself. But for a long time, I would move to distract how I'm actually feeling and distract my thoughts from it. So I never faced anything. So I would say when it first happened, it messed me up really bad. And I didn't really have anyone to feel vulnerable with about the situation. So it was just kind of like I didn't heal from it. I just acted like it didn't happen, but it did. Yeah. And I would say within the last like year, 2 years, year and a half, I have learned how to let things process, because I'd move so much and then it got to a point where everything was built up and then I have a breaking point. Yeah. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. It's always good to feel in the moment, because if you feel for too long, like you act like you're numb. Act is the key word. It's gonna catch up to you. You can act like you're perfectly fine. 2 years down the line, it could come hit you in the face. So it's better to face it head on. And I didn't know that. So I would say it didn't really change in that moment how I maneuvered. I feel like it made me more, I didn't really like large crowds of people. Like for a long time, I couldn't see silver Tauruses because that was the car that the people were driving. So whenever I'd see one, I'd freak out. Fireworks messed me up really bad. So like football games I couldn't go to when I first went to school because the fireworks messed me up. And the wind blowing a certain type of way, like it was just really bad. And I'm so glad that I'm now at peace with like that, and my PTSD isn't as bad as it was. Mm-hmm. But I can say there was an incident in the club where someone pulled a gun out in the club that made me be like, yeah, no, this is probably like 6 months ago. I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me anymore. I'm cool on it. So I'm still there, unfortunately. But
once you have your moments where you be like, I need to get out of it, you'll get out of it. Because I was struggling so bad to get out of the hospital I worked at, and it's because I had attachments. The checks, I was attached to that. I was attached to my patients, and I was attached to like, oh, I'm about to go to work, I'm about to get off. I could still hang out with my friends, and it was just a course. It was a cycle, yeah. So like it was hard to get out of, but once you get out of it, you feel like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, my thing is I like the freedom of my life. So I work for the club, but then I also work for a cannabis company, but I only work 3 days a week. Mm-hmm. So it's like I like the fact that I only work 3 days a week, because then all during the week I can do whatever I wanted to do. I've been working forever. Like I would say this time last year I had 3 jobs. I was working 7 days a week. Like it's like I've always worked. I've always worked my ass off. So now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, you got your 3 days a week. It feels good, but I don't feel good. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, yeah, like is it really worth it? But it's like a pros and cons of it. But I think that I'm pretty positive I'm about to start working another job. I just don't know what it is yet, because I'm tired of working for the white man.
Yeah. But you also brought up, I don't know, y'all you brought up how like you would see things and it would trigger you, and I feel like that's so bad, and I thought it was weird when my boyfriend passed, because it was a way he had the seat back in my car, and I would not move that seat from that angle. Like if you kept it like that, car, I would put it right back, and people look like,
why is it like that?
Yeah, it's a comfort thing. It kind of goes into my next question for you: is what is your healing process?
I would say something I had to do was I had to start going to the gun range. And that sounds so crazy, but I had to start, like I had to just face it. Like I said, like I had to condition it to just be like, it's not okay, because I'm not big on guns, but it also is like, this is a thing. Mm-hmm. And loud noises are a thing. So it's like, it's kind of like a self-mental talk through. Mm-hmm. So like when I would be at fireworks and I would feel myself start to get a little worked up, it'd be like, it's just fireworks. You're okay. The situation is fine. No one's out to get you. Everyone's safe. So it's like more of like a lot of stuff I feel like is self. A lot of things that you go through, your mind is the power to so much. So it's like, yeah, like me is just talking myself through it. That's what I would say I did, was just talking myself through it, and also feeling comfortable with being vulnerable. Because growing up, I had I struggled with opening up to people about stuff. So like I also had like an upbringing that I would say made me in some ways traumatized by a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I tried to do therapy, and it took me 6 months to finally open up to my therapist. And literally the day that I opened up to her at the end of our session, she said, so we're gonna have to get you a new therapist because I'm changing locations. That was like you ruined it, sis.
You never went back.
I never went back. I went one time to meet the new lady, and then after that, I was like, yeah, no, I'm cool.
You was building up your rapport.
Yeah, so it just kind of messed me up, but I realized that sometimes what you have to talk about and your story could help someone else with theirs. So that's something I also had to learn, and it's okay to be vulnerable. We're humans, like that's what we're made to do.
Like, I don't know how people don't know, but when I talk to people, it really helped me out too. Because it's like whatever you say, I might just be sitting here like, oh, I relate to that.
Yes.
Like, I've been doing this whole time. So it's like you might feel weird in that moment when you're going through those emotions, and when something happens to you, just be like, no one understands me. And then you see something or you talk to somebody, and it's just like, I'm gonna talk to you all damn day. So.
Literally, like the realization of that is such a good feeling. Like realizing that it does feel good to talk, and it feels better to talk than to not. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
So have you ever had a time where you was so guarded? Like, how did that make you feel?
Closed off, numb. I had a moment where I used to always say I don't care. It's like I don't care, and it doesn't bother me. But that's like me, like I was pushing the things that I felt in the back to make me think I didn't care, but I did. So I don't know. I just feel like I was numb, and I remember. This is a little off topic. I remember though, I was talking to this guy, and he was like, you told me, no, then maybe time went by, and then we stopped talking. He came back, and we had a conversation, and I was like, he was like, you told me like you don't like that. Like you told me like it is what it is. And I was like, and you're just numb. And I was like, yeah, I was. That was also 2 years ago. Yeah. I've changed as an individual, and I've learned that it's okay to not be numb. Like it's okay to feel how you're feeling. And you're valid to all your feelings. That's one thing I had to learn. Like I apologize still to this day. I apologize so much. Whether it's like I don't know. I'll apologize to anything, even if I'm not wrong. Like it's to the point where people be like, what are you apologizing about? And I'm like, wait, you're right. But that's because I second guess, I overthink everything. I just think the other person's thinking this, that, and the third. So growing up, I learned to just be quiet. Like I had to sit back and just be there. And I wanted to be the least inconvenient thing possible. But getting older, I realized life doesn't, like it can't really work like that. Because if you don't, then if it does, then you're a people pleaser. Yeah. Then you're sitting there, you end up doing something you don't want to do, and now your whole soul isn't even the same anymore. So that's something I had to learn. Being guarded is not a good thing, but also being not too guarded is very naive. So it's like you have to have a mix of both. You gotta have a good balance. Yeah.
So how did you overcome the self-doubt?
I still struggle with it. Again, that goes to the mental conversations with myself, like when I do catch myself doing it, or like not everyone is religious, but like I'm building my relationship back with God. Like I used to be really, really close with him. And then when I realized that I was doing what I was doing, I also had realized I lost myself. Like I lost my connection and my feelings with that. So I would say like when I overthink or I doubt, I always pray on it. And because I don't know if you're religious, the devil most of the time is your overthoughts. Like he's making you think about stuff negatively, and that might not even be the case. So yeah, I just would say prayers and self-talk for real. That's how I would do it. Yeah.
Okay. You love that. So what's your favorite practice of self-care?
I like kayaking.
Really?
That sounds so crazy, but it's peaceful.
I've never went kayaking, so I can't even be like,
A lot of people like, no, they don't like it. I like kayaking. Like it's quiet unless you have your speaker, but like you can I love pasta salad. Take me a little bowl of pasta salad, go on the kayak, take my book.
I just feel like it's not flip. I don't know.
It's okay. Some people don't like the water. I'm a mermaid. I think I was in my past life. So But yeah, I would say anything. Like also another thing I realized was I was no longer doing things that I liked, and or that made me glimmer. I call them glimmers. So like getting my nails done, that's one of my glimmers. Cause like I'm getting my nails done, I just feel like I'm just happy. But I would say I've doing things that just make me feel good on the inside. Like not going out. Going out after, it always makes me feel low vibrational. Like the next day I wake up and I'm just like I'm just groggy and like, yeah, you might have fun in the time being, but usually after every time I go out and I get drunk, I'm always like, why did I do that to myself? Because it's like they call alcohol spirits. Like alcohol is literally the word spirit in a different
language.
Not a different language, but yes, something like that. And like it literally brings out a different person of you. Like it's not truly who you are. So it's like that.
Yeah, it really is a different person. Because I feel like I have really bad social anxiety.
And when you
so
drink,
when I go out and drink, I'm just a social butterfly.
You know, yes.
When you see me again and I'm sober, I'm just like,
you're like, hi. How you doing?
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm trying to get out of that. So like now I just practice like just talking to people, not just public interviews. Like that's kind of building me up to talk to people. Because even me thinking about doing stuff like this, I kind of be like,
you overthink it a little bit.
Yeah. Like I'll sit here and people see me like shake my leg a little bit because it's just like,
it's like, are you okay?
Am I talking too much now? But it's like I have to talk. But all right, y'all. So this has been our mental health check-in here with Maddie. I'm so appreciative of you coming down and sitting with us and just having your mental health check-in.
Thank you.